Okay, so let's see the concept of VDCs. We saw this device. So okay, we'll see them later on again. You see the fab module, you can put it inside, remove and all. But this is the same. Let's virtualize this device. It's all the same. Let's go to our topic to create virtual device context. Now you know the physical architecture. Now what we will do is there is a VDC ID 0, and if you enable the admin VDC, you will have the VDC ID 1 also. Admin VDC will not have any capability of using those interfaces. So what I'll do is I will simply go and log in on my device. So let's create a VDC over here. We have this Nexus 7000 device over here, and I have just rebooted the device. So as of now, there is power on auto provisioning question. I will say abort this please. So I aborted the power on auto provisioning, and it wants me to choose whether I want to give a secure password. So I will say no. I will give my password. And now it is asking me whether do you want to create an admin VDC? Do you want to use this box as a whole like this? Or you want me to give you all the interfaces? So if you say do not, if you say I do not want to enable the admin VDC, then all the interfaces, for example, Ethernet 3/1 to 48, Ethernet 4/1 to 32, whatever the ports may be, are going to be allocated in this box only. But if I say create a VDC, if I say yes to it, then this is like Sholeka Thakur. He will not have any interfaces. All the interfaces will be in the unallocated VDC. So let us do this. Let us say I do not want to enable the admin VDC. So I say no to the config dialog, and by default role-based access control. Now it is, let us say configure terminal, switch name N7K2, and I will say show interface brief. See, this device has all the interfaces over here. And if I say show VDC membership, see there are no unallocated interfaces, because I told him I do not want to use the admin VDC. So what he did was he used one VDC, and this is a normal switch, one single big switch. But now if the requirement says you have to enable the admin VDC, simply you can say system admin VDC. What will this do? This will ask you, see, all the configuration will be wiped out on the interfaces. Just say yes, I want to create a VDC so that I can manage all the other boxes. Getting the concept? Now I have one VDC ID 0, I have one VDC ID 1, but still I will not be able to do one single thing because I don't have interface. I don't have a working switch. Now what you will do is you will say, the task will say create a VDC, create a VDC named VDC1, right? So what am I doing? I will create a logical switch inside this one like this. So this is a blank box called VDC1. This can be the name of my company whom I am leasing my device to, but this will be a blank box. I give him a box without ports. Then ports will be required. So first let us see how to create a VDC. So let's go back, and here, see, show VDC membership. If I say, see, all the interfaces are moved back to unallocated interfaces. And this guy will not have any interface. Although he is the admin VDC, he will not have any ports to him. There are some things that, so these are the tasks that can be performed from your default VDC. Like you can create a VDC, or you can delete or suspend a VDC. So if some tenant is not paying you well, you can suspend his VDC also. You can allocate those resources. So if I say, I want to create a VDC over here, and I want to give him some interfaces. So I should be in the admin VDC. If I give a tenant a switch, he should not automatically take the interfaces. So you will be the administrator who will decide how many ports this box has. For example, I will be in this VDC, and I will tell him that you will be given Ethernet 3/1 to 10. These interfaces are for you. do whatever you want to do, right? So there are a few tasks that you can only do in the admin or the default VDC. You can also allocate.
Admin and default.
Kind of different. See, default was the previous name. Now is the admin VDC. See, if you use the supervisor one, then you have the default VDC concept. But in the second suite, there is a concept of 4 plus 1. So this plus 1 will be your default. 8 plus 1 in 2E. This plus 1 is your admin VDC. So you have to do this. All these features, control plane policing. You can decide how much power is used or anything related to policing on the admin VDC only. System-wide quality of service can be deployed in admin VDC. Yes. So let's go ahead and create a VDC. I will create a VDC with the name of VDC1 and let us see what happens. We will not allocate the interfaces initially. Let's say VDC1. This is the command to create a virtual device context. So now my VDC has come online, but still this box is empty because I have not yet allocated any interface inside it. So let us check, show VDC membership. There are interfaces that are not allocated, that there is one admin VDC and there is one VDC called VDC1. It does not have, it is a blank box. Let us go inside that box. How do you go inside that box? You have to say switch to the VDC's name in here. Now I am into that switch and now it says info secure. I say no, I give it my password and then I am inside the basic configuration.
So this password is already created or just now?
Password I just gave it now. Yes. So if I give you a management IP, you log in on the first time, you will think that it is my brand new switch and it has 10 ports.
So in the admin mode, if you are in admin
VDC, yes. So
you can have VDC admin.
Yes. So that is role-based access control that we saw. If you are the network admin, you by default get the role of the VDC admin. If you are the network operator, you are by default given the role of your VDC operator. Now I was the network admin, right? Okay. So I landed in that VDC as VDC admin. Yes. Role-based access control is there by default. We can create, yes. We will create. See, let's go in here and let us say configure terminal, and here I can say username, HP, password, HP, and here you can say privilege level, or you can say role and question mark. Here VDC admin and VDC operator can be created, or you can be very granular. Once we are doing SSH, we create these rules, we create these privileges. So you can, this guy is only for the VDC.
How will you find out how will you identify for?
So if I create a role over here and I will say role is the privilege level 6, for example. If I say show run, in the show run, he will tell me the role and the privilege level over here. Which privilege level, see, the highest privileged person can configure and delete anything on this VDC. If there is an operator who wants to see only the interfaces command, so he can only use interfaces commands. He cannot do anything else. It depends. See, if you are using secure shell, you create 2 usernames. One is the admin and one is an operator. The operator, when he logs in, he cannot give the configure terminal command. He cannot go inside. He cannot change anything. Show commands only. So there are role-based access lists. See, yes.
If somebody is in privilege,
how are we going inside? There is a management port in here. There is a management VDC that we are following. VRF, once you do VRFs and all, we'll understand more. So there is a management and all these guys will have the same management. For example, if I tell you over here, if I create a VDC over here, all these VDCs will use the same management IP. Subnet will be same. Username passwords will be different. Yes. So let us create, I created a VDC. Now let us give him the interfaces over here. So let us go over here. Now, where am I? Always understand where are you. You are inside that VDC. You are inside that well, you are inside that box, you cannot do anything. You have to go back. You have to say switch back. Switch back means I come over here. Now there is one thing, if you give your box to someone else, this guy easily comes to know that he is using a shared box. So he can say, I don't want to use a shared box, give me a proper box. So what you can do is, you can say no VDC combined hostname. If you don't want your tenants to understand that they are using a shared switch, you can give this command, no VDC combined hostname. So now if I go switch to VDC1, now what does it say? Only the host name that is there. So he will not come to know that he is using a shared box. That's the VDC's name. So he cannot claim, okay, this is no. So giving this command will not show him both the names. But for us in testing environment, it is in fact good because we know which VDC we are in, right? So if you want to come back, you can say exit or you can say switch back. Although if your customer logs in on this VDC from outside, he cannot say switch back. No, a VDC admin cannot say switch back. Network admin can do anything. Yes. So let's go back and let us give him some interfaces. As of now, show VDC membership will show me that there are no interfaces. Now what I will do is, I will give him Ethernet 3/1 and 2. Okay. So how do you give him? You should be in the VDC configuration mode. I am in the admin VDC talking about that VDC. Here you will say allocate interface Ethernet 3/1-2, for example. Yes, give him these two interfaces. Now in the new latest iOS code, it will give you some pop-up error. Now what happens is, see the thing yellow port that I was showing you, right? I was showing you some yellow port. There is something called a switch on chip. If there is a port over here, there is a port over here. This was yellow color port. If you recall over here, this was yellow color port and there were many other ports over there. So these 4 ports will share something called one chip. This is the switch on chip. If you have ports, this is called a port group. Now this is 3/1, 2, 3 and 4. If I have 4 ports that are using this same chip and I give him 1 and 2, automatically these 3 and 4 will be given to him. Yeah, because they are using the same switch on chip. So you cannot distribute that. Let us do one more time. Let us go back.
Okay, so that means you cannot like 1 and 2 to somebody else
and 3 and 4. You can give that, but the chip level things you have to see. I'll show you.
The port group you cannot.
You cannot share the port group. Yeah, correct. So this port, if you want to use the dedicated bandwidth, then you can say, okay, this port will be the dedicated bandwidth one. All these ports will not be usable then. Let us do one thing. Let us try to create some other interface. Let's go here. I'll show you the port grouping. It depends on the module that you have. I will say E4/1.
So something you have 4/4, something you have 2 or 8.
Yes. See, there is a command to check that. As of now, it is not giving me an error. Maybe show version can tell me which. Yeah, this is the older iOS. The latest 7.2 will clearly tell you that if you allocate this interface, I will go ahead and automatically give these interfaces. See, what is the command to do that? Give me a moment. Let's say show VDC membership. But before that, understand, I gave him 1 and 2. Over here, I have this VDC1 has interface E3/1-2 and E4/1. He has only 3 interfaces that I gave it to him. Let us go back and check. Show VDC membership. 1, 2 are gone and here. So this is one chip. See, if I say switch to VDC1 and let me check. Show interface brief. He has only 3 ports. Right? And show interface E3/1 capabilities. This is a very important command because it will tell you the port groups over here. See, 1 and 2. There are 2 ports in the group. This means if I allocate a third interface, he will give 3 and 4 automatically to him. Let's do that. Let's say switch back and let's say VDC1 configure terminal. Here the terminal is also not recorded. If you say conf, it's okay. VDC1 allocate interface E3 bar 3. Yes. So he says, see, the entire port group is not present in the command and missing ports will be included, but in the 7.x code, he will show you that I will give you 3 bar 4 also. So let's go back and say, let's switch to VDC1, show interface brief. I allocated only one interface over here. But if you see, I get an interface for free because of the switch and chip behavior.
It is M4.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I gave the 3 bar 3, right? I gave the 3 bar 3. Yeah, that is routed. See, here I allocated 3 bar 3, right? I did not allocate 3 bar 3 and 4, but 3 bar 4 is here. Yes. Yeah, see, let's do it again. Let's say switch back. Let's say switch back and let us give him, let's say configure terminal. Configure terminal. VDC1 allocate interface E3/10. 3/10. See, now he says, okay, missing. I gave him 10, 3 bar 10. Right? I did not give him 3 bar 11 only. So let's go in that box and let's say show interface brief. 3 bar 10 and maybe it's the port group of that one. 3.9. Yes. So yeah, even. So the grouping is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I gave him 10. He receives 9 also. So that port grouping, because that chip cannot be shared. If you give him one chocolate, that whole chocolate you have to give him. 2 boys will not share that. So that chip is shared. Yes. So this transceiver is showing us 10 GB, but this 10 GB should be shared by the chip. So technically it should be, as far as I know, it should be 5 by both. Yes. Each port is 10 GB, but they are sharing the one chip in the backend. So we can change bandwidth and all. We can do many things. Let's just switch back and let's stop here for this one.